do the global channels and physical distribution, that how and in which particular circumstances they are going to go for the distribution of any goods, and what are the physical distribution. So it is very very important to understand this thing, that whenever we are going for any business in international marketing, we have to first find out that what are the basic global marketing channels, and how we are going to distribute the goods in different areas of foreign country. So it is very very important to understand this thing, that whenever we are going for any export or import businesses, the first and foremost thing is that we have to identify that how we are going to distribute our products in different markets. So in this context, I would like to tell you that what are the marketing channels which exist to create the utility for customers. This is the first point which we it comes into the mind of the people, that what are the basically utility and how customer is going to be benefited with the marketing channels. So if we talk about the customers, the first thing which comes into the mind is place utility. That means availability of a product or service in a location that is convenient to a potential customer. That means when we are going for any business, it is usually said that if the place is convenient to the customer, definitely customer is going to buy the product from that particular place. So same in international marketing also, we have to find out that what are the places and which are the areas where we are going to put up the products in the shops. That means that it should be well connected with the transportation. Should be well connected with by road, and it should be access to the people or the customers very easily. So this is first thing which is comes under the customer's utility. Place number two is time. Availability of a product or service when desired by a customer. As you know, nowadays the market has changed and it is the total customer market. So in this customer market, what is the thing which is to be taken into consideration is the time. That means whenever the customer require any product, the company is in the position to find out that what are the basic timing, or what are the timing when the products are available in the market. Because if the product is not available in the market, you must be aware about this thing, the customer can move from one product to another product, because customer are in the habit not to wait for any particular product. So it is the role of the distributor channel, that how they are distributing the products so that the products are always available in the shops, and whenever the customer demands at, and whatever the time is, the product should be available to them. Then form utility, availability of the product, processed, prepared in proper condition and or ready to use. Sometimes it happens that there are some products which are not properly prepared, and it is not available in the form of the utility for the customer. So in that situation, they are saying that it is important to see that whatever the end product you are putting up into the market in front of the customer, it should be well prepared, and it should be the end product or the final product which customer is going to use it. So it is very very important to understand this thing, that whenever the products are available in the market, it should not in the semi-finished goods, because customers are not interested, or customers are not in a habit to wait or to see that okay, when the product is going to be finalized, then we are going to purchase it. No, customer will immediately switch over from one product to another product. So if another product is available in the market, they will immediately buy it. So that means that you are losing the market at that time, because if that product is equivalent to your product, or it is good in comparison to your product, what will happen? You lose the customer, and by the word of mouth, the things will be spread out in the market or between the customers also, that okay, you buy this product, it will be better because other product is not available in the final stages. So this is the objective of the marketing channels, to find out that how the products are put up in the shelves in the final stages. Then information utility, availability of answers to questions and general communication about useful product features and benefits. This is another point which is to be taken care by the marketing channel people or the people who are interested in selling their product to the customer, that the communications and the questions which are raised by the consumers, it should be answered properly, which includes the product features as well as the benefits. You must have seen the products which says that okay, these are the features of the product and these are the benefits when you are using the product. So these are the information, either it is given by the representatives of that particular company, or it is, marked in the form of piece of paper inside the product, or maybe it is put up on the outside, uh, you know packing. So it is very very important that whatever the product you are selling in the market, it should be having a information utility. That means if customer is going to buy any product, it should be there that customer is in a position to find out all their answers, and in case if there is any communication, it should be answered properly. So if we talk about the utility for customers are concerned, there are points which I have just described to you. That is, first of all, place of utility, time of utility, form of utility, and the information utility. Because these are the initial points by which you can, attract the customer, and you can give all the information to customer regarding the products availability are concerned. So then we are going to talk about the distribution is the physical flow of goods through the channels. If we talk about the distribution channels, so what are distribution channels? Distribution channels are known as the physical flow of the goods through the channels. There may be different channels, right from the manufacturer to distributor to retailer to consumer, or maybe it is right from the manufacturer to distributor and to consumer, or maybe it is right from the manufacturer to the distributor and to the local channels through which the customer can buy the products. So channels are made up of coordinated group of individuals or companies that perform functions that add utility to a product or services. So if we talk about the channels, what are the channels? Channels are made up of a coordinated groups of individuals or the companies. That means there are different type of people who are coordinating together to make a channel, or the companies who are coordinating together to make a channel, and their basic function is to add utility to a product or the services. That whatever the products are going to be available in the market, or whatever services we are planning to give to the consumer, it is one of the important function of the channels to see that how they are going to utilize their channels to inform the customers about their product which are available in the market. So if you see that channels are playing a very very important role in export and import businesses, and because the person who is selling the goods, they are not aware about the distribution pattern of that particular country. So in that situation you have to make some distributors in the country, and then you have to see that how they are making your products available in different markets of that particular country. So this is the important part which you should be understanding, that distribution is physical flow of goods and services, and channels are the group of people or individuals or the companies who are coming together to form a channel, and their main function is to add the utility to a product or the services which are required by the consumer. Then terminologies which are used in distribution channels are distributor. Who are distributors? Distributors are the wholesaler intermediary that typically carries product lines or brands on a selective basis. That means that who are distributor? If somebody asks you that who are distributors, So you can very well say that distributors are the wholesaler intermediary. You must have seen this thing that whenever the products are coming from any other country, they are coming in bulk quantity, and there are big distributors who are having big warehouses, or where they are putting up the products, and they carry the product line or the brand of a particular product, or on the selective basis. So if you see in foreign countries, there are big wholesalers. What they are doing, they are just purchasing the products from the manufacturers directly and enjoying the economic of scales. That means the they are getting some sort of relaxation in the products which they are purchasing from the manufacturer, or you can say some sort of uh, percentage where they are getting on the purchasing of the products in bulk quantity. So it is carried out the product line or the services on selective basis. Then who are agents? An intermediary who negotiates transactions between two or more parties but does not take title to the goods being purchased or sold. Who are agents? If somebody asks you who are agents, so you should be in a position to give the answer that agents are the intermediaries. That means they are the middle person who negotiates between the transaction of two or more parties but does not take the title of the good being purchased or sold. That means that agent is the person, or he is a middleman. He is a bridge between the manufacturer and the distributor or the wholesaler. So what they are doing it, they are doing all the negotiations between the manufacturers and the distributors, and they are not take the title of the goods. What they are doing after negotiations, they are informing both the parties that okay, this is terms and condition on the basis of which manufacturers are going to sell the goods to the wholesaler. So in that situation, they are getting their own commission in between, and they are finalizing the deal between the manufacturer and the distributor. If we see here that I've given a chart here which says that the customers, and on the other side it is internet mail order or interactive. So there are different type of channels how the things are going, and how the things are taken care by the manufacturer. So here they are saying that they are the manufacturers, and with the help of manufacturer's sales force, it is going to the retailer directly, and then it is going to the customer. So this is one part how the channel takes place. Number one is manufacturer sales force, then retailer and the customer. Then second is manufacturer, agents or brokers, retailer or customer. Third one is manufacturer sales force, wholesaler, retailer and customer. Then fourth one is manufacturer retail force and the retailer, but it moves through the wholesaler. That means manufacturers are having their sales force are talking to the wholesalers, and these wholesalers are selling to the retailers, and then it is coming to the customer. And then there is a manufacturer, wholesaler, retailer and the customer. So this is how the channels work, and how there are different people who are involved in distribution of the goods from one place to another place. That means that if we see in the broader term, the people who are involved in these distribution channels are manufacturers sales source, wholesalers, agents or retailer, and then consumer. So please try to understand this thing, that whenever we are talking about the distribution channel, you should be able to understand that distribution channel means manufacturing sales force. So directly to the retailer, through wholesaler, manufacturing sales for through wholesaler and retailer and come back, manufacturer, wholesaler and retailer, and then the consumer. So these are the channels how we think that how the international marketing products can be moved from one country to another country. Then piggyback marketing, what is this? I'm quite sure that regarding the distribution channels are concerned, you are very clear about it that who are the people who are involved in different type of distribution channel. So please remember one thing, whenever anybody asks you about this thing, that what do you understand by distribution channel? So you have to say the distribution channel is a process in which the products are moving from one place to another place, that is for example from manufacturers to consumer with the help of either the manufacturer's sales force through wholesaler or retailer, or maybe it is directly to the retailer, or maybe it is manufacturing sales force, wholesaler, retailer, and the consumers. Now, what is piggy bank marketing? Channels innovation that has grown in popularity. One manufacturer distributes product by utilizing another company's distribution channel. As you know, if you talk about the piggy bank, what comes into your mind? That means piggy bank means that you are carrying something. The same thing is here. This is the channel innovation, and it has grown and have a lot of popularity with among the international distributors. That one manufacturer is distributing the product by utilizing another company's distribution channel. Suppose you want to sell your product in foreign market, but you are not able to understand how to sell the product. So in that situation, what you are doing it, you are manufacturing the product, but you are taking the help of some distributor in that particular company or the country where you are supposed to sell your product. So that means that when you are not directly selling or distributing the product, you are taking help of any other company's distribution channel to sell the product in that particular market. Let's take example of USA. Suppose I am selling any product to USA. So sometime it happens when we are not able to find out the distribution channel, we will negotiate with some company who are having a very good distribution channel in USA. So we will manufacture the product, we will send the product to that particular company to distribute your products through their channels. This requires that the combined product line be complementary and appeal to the same customer. That means they are saying that it requires a complementary product line. That means combined product line. That means that whatever you are selling and whatever those companies are selling in foreign country, they must be having a combined product line, and it appeals to the same customers. That means the customers are not going to be different for your product, but the customers are same for your product also. So this is known as piggy bank marketing. How it is going? Manufacturer is direct selling to the customer, then manufacturer through the help of the manufacturing sales force going to the wholesaler and then going to the customer, or manufacturer with the help of the sales force directly selling to the consumers, then manufacturers are selling to the wholesaler and it is going to the customer. Then in next is manufacturer is going through distributor or agents, and they are selling either through the wholesaler to the customer or directly they are selling to the customer. So this is another chart which give you an insight about it, that how the distributions are going to take place in foreign countries. So as I have told you that piggy bank is very you know important part of any export or import business nowadays. If you are going to manufacture product and would like to sell the product in international marketing, you are going to take piggyback marketing in, and this will help you out in saving a lot of money also, because for that you have to pay little bit money to the concerned organization which is helping you out in distributing of the products in your country. Then what is direct involvement? The company establishes its own sales force or operate its own retail stores. I can give you one example that there are a lot of companies what they are doing it, they are establishing their own manufacturing units, they are establishing their own sales force, and they're having their own retail stores. So if you think over it, there are a lot of retail stores which are directly from the company's side, and they're having their own sales force who are selling the products. Why they are doing this thing? Because they are not interested that there should be any mediators. Because if you are taking more and more mediators, you have to share your profit margin to all those mediators. So sometimes company think that okay, it is better we will take some sales for, and we will open our retail shops in different countries. As the example I can give, H&M company, it is a big company who are opening their retail shops throughout the world by the growth of 15 to 20% every year. That means that they think that whatever they are manufacturing, with the help of their sales force, they are going to sell the product in the market by opening different retail stores. Then what is indirect involvement? The company utilizes the dependent agents, distributors, or the wholesaler. This is another point. When company is totally dependent on the distributors, wholesalers, and the agents. That means that these are the people who will help the company to sell the product in foreign markets. As I have told you this thing that it is not easy for any manufacturer in the domestic market to find out all the foreign buyers or the distributor channel. So in that case, they are taking help of the either the agents, wholesalers, or the retailer to sell the product in the market. Then channel strategy must fit the company's competitive position and marketing objectives within each national market. That means they are saying that whatever the channel strategies are made by the manufacturers, it should be fit in the company's competitive position. That means that whatever the company wants to sell and whatever the company are in a competitive situation, and it should fulfill the marketing objective of the company in each and every national market of that particular country. Yes, it is very important, because whatever you are going to sell, either direct selling or indirect selling, you have to see that whatever your strategies are they going to fill up the objective of the company, or it is deviating from that. So it is important to identify this thing, that whoever your distributor channels are, you should be very careful about it, that your company's objective should be fulfilled. And if you are selling the products in different market, whatever your objective is, that means you have to fulfill those objective effectively. Then distribution selection. It is usually said that sometimes distributors are so big that they select your product. So it is usually said in international marketing that whenever you are selecting a distributor, you have to select the distributor. Don't let them to select you. Look for distributors capable of developing markets rather than those with a few good customer contacts. Yes, it is important whenever we are exporting the goods. It is usually seen that we have to see the distributor, or we are looking for those distributors who are capable of developing your market. That means they must be having a lot of sales for, or they must be having a lot of networking in that particular country, so that they can distribute your product effectively. Or it is not good if you are selecting a distributor who are having a limited number of customers. No, you have to select a distributor who are having a lot of customers, and who can help you out in distributing the product throughout the country. We have to treat the local distributors as long term partners, not temporary market entry vehicle. Yes, this is also important to understand, that whenever we are selecting a distributor, we have to keep one thing in mind, that whatever the distributors are there, we are working with these distributors on long term basis. We are not going to cut short the things, because it is very very important. If you take the distributor for a short term market entry in that particular country, maybe after some time you will find it will be difficult for you to distribute your products, because you are having a very short term contract with that particular distributor. So it is usually seen in international market that whenever you are selecting the distributors, your distributors should be long term distributors, having good networking and having good number of customers, so that they can cater the things in effective manner. Then we have to support the market entry by committing money, managers, and proven marketing ideas. Of course, when we are selecting the distributors, when we are selecting the different channels, how we are going to do it, we have to support the market entry. How? By committing the money which would be involved into that. Then we have to identify the managers for that and the proven marketing ideas, that what are the basic marketing ideas and how it is going to be put up in the you know different countries and in front of the customer. Because it is very very important, if you are selecting the distributor but you are failing to give them proper money, it will be problem for you. The distributor will work for you. Then you have to identify the managers also. You have to select the managers, and you have to use those ideas which are proven in your own country. That means in a domestic country, whatever you are selling, and if you are selling in a very effective manner, so you have to use those ideas in foreign countries also, maybe with some little bit changes in that. And from the start, maintain the control over the marketing strategy. That means that whatever the distributors are there, you have to tell the distributor that these are our marketing strategies, and on the basis of these strategies we are going to work. Because you have to control the marketing strategy. Otherwise what happens, after some time you will find out that the distributors are overpowering, because they are in different country, you are in different country, and you don't have any control over that. So it is usually said in channel marketing that it is important that you should be taking the upper hand regarding the marketing strategies are concerned, and you are going to make the marketing strategy, not the distributors. Make sure distributors provide you with the detailed market and financial performances data. That means that it should be also important that whoever is your distributor, they are going to give you the detailed information about the market, that what is the market, how it is moving, and what are the trends which are going to take place. This is the role of the distributor to find out, and then they have to talk about the financial performance data also. That means that whatever the financial things are moving, that means whatever the transaction are going on between the distributors, wholesalers, retailers, and the consumer, all data should be handed over to your marketing team whenever they require that, because then only you are in a position to hold the control over distributors. Otherwise these are big distributors in foreign countries and they can take care of your company. And then you have to build a link among the national distributors at working with channel intermediaries. That means they are saying that whenever you are working in international country, foreign country, you have to build a link among the national distributors at working with the capital intermediaries. That means that the people who are involved in the finances, and they are the mediator for distribution of the products of. So you have to make the links with those people also. Although you have selected one distributor, but you have to make the link with other distributors also, so that in case of any requirement, you have to find out that the other distributors are also financially strong and their distribution channels are also very good. This can only be helpful when you are taking help of either agents or the different mediating person. Then what are global retailing? When we are talking about the global retail, they are basically departmental stores. specialty retailers, supermarkets, convenience stores, stores and warehouses clubs, hypermarket, super centers, category killers, and outlet stores. So, if we talk about the global retailing, that how we are going to do the global retailing. In this situation, you have to find out that, as I have told you, that there are distributors, there are different channels. Now we are going to discuss about the different retailing uh, options in foreign market. So some first of all is the departmental stores. These are the small stores where you will find a lot of products of your utility. Then specialty retailers. These are the retailers who are selling a special good. Suppose you are selling some mm, product which is basically manufactured for automobile industry. So these retailers are the retailers who are keeping your products and they are selling only automobile products. So these are known as specialist retailers. Then supermarket. These are the big markets where you will find lot of things of your requirement, right from a small thing to the big thing also. Then convenience stores, these are small stores where you can find the goods on daily basis things. Like if you want some coffee, if you want some bread, if you want some anything which you can take it on daily basis, these are known as convenient stores. And you have to see in international market also that whoever is your distributor, they must be having these type of channels also where the products can be put into the shops. Then discount stores and warehouse clubs. These are the discount stores where you will find the products at the minimum cost at the cheaper prices. And the warehouse club means that these are big warehouses where you can find lot of products of utility, and with the help of these warehouses club you can find out all the products available in that particular warehouses. Then we have a hypermarkets. These are the markets where you can find out each and everything. That means if you want to purchase automobile things, you will find out there. If you want to purchase some grocery item, you will find out there. If you want to purchase some electronic item, you will find out there. If you want to purchase some crockery item, you will find out there. So these are the hypermarkets where you will find everything, and these are very big markets, and it is usually outside the cities in every country. Maybe it is really maybe divided into state wise also and the area wise also. So these are the areas where usually the customer goes and purchase the good. Then super center, these are the centers where from you will find a specific type of products. And then category killers means that these are the areas where you will find the products on the basis of the categories, that on different categories you will find different type of products which are available in this particular market. Then outlet stores, there are manufacturers, as I have just described to you, that there are some manufacturers who think that why not we will do one thing, we will acquire our own sales force and we will open our own outlet store. So usually they are doing this thing because in foreign markets if you see, there are a lot of companies who are having their own outlets and they are selling their own manufactured products there. That means the products which are manufactured in their company, they are selling the same products in their outlet store. Let's take example of any garment industry. They may be opening their stores in different areas and they are selling their own products manufactured in their units. So they are saving the money what we are going to give to the mediators or the agents. So in global retailings, these are the different type of scores, and maybe you are going to encounter with these words again and again. That in the global retailing, what this signifies. So please try to understand this thing that these are different type of stores which are prevailing in foreign markets. In few countries, if you talk about the underdeveloped countries also, they are also having their supermarkets where you can go and buy the products. That means in supermarkets mainly you can buy, or the departmental you may buy the products which are related to your groceries are concerned or the fooding things are concerned, not too much. But nowadays it has been seen that in the departmental stores or in the supermarket you will find all other electronic items also, and no, cutlery items also, because the competition is very high. Maybe you will find in one particular area there are two supermarkets, maybe you will find three supermarkets. To compete in the market they are keeping all these products, but otherwise it is usually said, if we talk about the supermarket, in that we will find all the domestic products which are used by the consumer on day to day basis. You will find everything into that. Then there are some companies, I'll just give you some top global retailers who are doing their business throughout the world. Number one is Walmart. It is in USA. What is the format? How Walmart is working? It is a discount store, wholesale club. Sales are very high. You will find the products in this particular discount store at very very economical prices. Then Carrefour. It is from France, but it is a hypermarket where you will find each and everything, right from electronics to eating things or anything. You will find this. Then Royal Ahold. It is from Netherlands. It is a supermarket. Then Home Depot, USA. That means whatever the products related with homes are required, it is available there. Then Kroger, it is from USA. It is also a supermarket. It is having a very good sales. Then there are Tesco, Seeds, Robic, then ITM Enterprise France, Alberston USA, Edeka Group Germany, Safeway, JC Penney, Camet, Walgreen, then Ito Yokoda, that is Japan, then Sainsbury, USA supermarket, then Auchan hypermarket, France, Safeway, USA supermarket. These are the top 25 retailers and their sales are in millions. You must have observed this chart and you can see that how much sales they are doing it. These are in millions. So the number one is Walmart store, and apart from that, there are other stores also. Then, what are the environmental factors which may affect the global retailing? The saturation in the home country market. This is one point. As I have just given you an example that there are some places where there are a lot of supermarkets and lot of hypermarkets also. If there are two hypermarket or two supermarket, you can see that the saturation is there in the market. Then recession or other economic factors. That means if there is a recession period going on in that particular area, it is going to affect the global retailing and the economic factors also. Maybe there are some uh, you know economic changes in the country which will affect the value of the currency. That will also create problem for the people. Then high operating cost, that is another environmental facts, that sometime it happens that you are opening the market but the operating cost is very very high as comparison to the selling value. Then strict regulation on store development. There are some areas or some countries where there are very very strict regulation from the government regarding the development of the store. So whatever store you are going to open, it should be within the limit of those policies and the laws. You cannot develop your stores in different manner. For that you have to take permission from the government. Then critical questions are there: what advantages do we have relative to the local competition? So in this we can say that I've given these chart to you. It is A, B, C, and D. You can see that manufacturers brand are focused on one thing, and then the own label focus on different thing. So if we see that Benetton, IKEA, Marks and Spencers, Gap, these are the local brands. They are working on that. And there are Toys, Douglas or Carrefour. They are manufacturing brand. They are basically focused on the branding of the product. And as I have told you about the Benetton and the Mark and Spencer, they are branding on their own local labels. So these are the basic difference. And then what are the organic things in this? When we are going for global competencies or global marketing retailing, we have to see that what is organic. Company uses its own resources to open a store on a greenfield site or acquire one or more existing retail facilities. Organic means that company is going to open a retail outlet with their own resources, or maybe they acquire one or more existing retail facilities. That means that there are companies, what they are doing, they are opening their own retail stores, or maybe they are acquiring some other retail stores also. This is known as organic. Then what is franchisee? Appropriate strategy when barriers to entry are low, yet the market is culturally distant in terms of consumer behavior or retailing structure. That means franchisee is a proper appropriate strategy. How you are entering into that particular market when there are a lot of entry restrictions in different countries. In that situation, what companies are doing, they are offering franchises to the local manufacturers. So technical know-how company is giving, and they are asking the franchisees to work on their own work. Let's take example of McDonald's. You see that whatever the outlet or interiors are there, the McDonald interior outlets are almost same. You can find out the McDonald's sign while you are traveling far from the areas. Why? Because they are having the same design for each and every outlet. So consumer can easily identify the area, and it is given to most of the people in different countries. If we take about franchisee of McDonald, if we talk about the franchisee of say roundabout say different type of products, they are having their own outlets. If we talk about the cooperatives also, in most of the countries, if there is one type of cooperative which is working, they are having same type of building, same type of color combination, etc., because they have to make their thing identified by the consumers by seeing the colors or the outer structure. So this is another point. When you are going for an appropriate strategy regarding your products to be sold in different markets, you are in a position to go for the franchises also in retail market. Then chain acquisition, a market entry strategy that entails purchasing a company with multiple existing outlet in a foreign country. Sometimes it happens there is a domestic player who are in a position to sell the product at large scale, but when they are planning to enter into the foreign market, they said that okay, we will do one thing, we will purchase a company which are having lot of retail outlets in foreign country. So only thing is that they have to just put up the product in those things, and everything is already there in the market regarding the infrastructure is concerned. It is known as chain acquisition. Then joint venture. This strategy is advisable when culturally distant, difficult to enter markets are targeted. You must be aware about this thing that when we are entering the market in foreign market, it is difficult to enter the foreign market. So it is usually said that if we are going for joint venture, that is another option for global retailing also. And it is advisable also when you are entering into the market which is having a different culturally distant situation, religiously different. then difficult to enter in that market. In that situation, you can go for the joint venture. That means that you are finding out a company in that particular country and you are doing a joint venture. That means you are manufacturing the product, giving the product to that particular company, and those company are selling the product. That it is known as joint venture. Then there is a chart which I have given to you, which say organic, chain acquisition, franchisee, and joint venture. So, regarding the joint venture and chain acquisition, when there is a culturally distinct thing, we have to go for the joint venture. When it is difficult to enter into the market, maybe we can go for franchisee. Then in organic and chain acquisition, we can directly go and do the business directly. So there are two things which we have to take into consideration. Number one is joint venture and franchisee. When there is a culture difference between the countries, then innovation takes place only in the most highly developed system. That means that only innovative things can be happen when we are working in a very highly developed systems. The ability of a system to successfully adapt innovation is directly related to its level of economic development. That means that when we are selling the product in the particular market, that means the foreign market, we have to see that what are the innovative ideas and techniques are taking place in that particular market. Because if it is economically developed, definitely we are going to take a risk regarding the innovations are concerned, and we can successfully adapt the innovation. But if the economic development is not there, we have to see how we can move with the innovative ideas. When the economic environment is conducive to change, the process of adaptation may be either hindered or helped by local demographic factors, geographic factors, social government actions, and competitive pressures accelerated by the action of aggressive individual companies. So they are saying if the economic environment is conducive and you can make a changes in that particular thing, the process of adaptation may be sometime either hindered by the local demographic factors. That what are the demographic factor of that particular area, geographical factors, then the social areas, how societies are going to take it, then the government action. There are different type of policies and laws which government may be imposing on that, and the competitive pressure from the accelerated and aggressive individual companies prevailing in that particular country. So you have to be very careful when you are talking about the innovative practices are concerned, because if you are not going for the innovative practices, it's going to be difficult for you to understand that thing. Then supply chain. It includes all the companies that perform support activities by generating raw materials, converting them into components or finished goods, and making them available to the customer. This is another point which we have to take into consideration, that how at minimum cost the company can perform the support activities by generating the raw materials, maybe converting these raw material into the end products, and making these products available to the consumer. So it is taken care by the supply chain management. Then regarding the logistics are concerned, the management process that integrate the activities of all companies to ensure 10 efficient flow of goods through the supply chain. Logistics means that it is the management process that integrates the activities of all companies to ensure efficient flow of goods through the supply chain. That means that if somebody asks you what is logistic, so logistic is the management process that integrates the activities of all the companies. That means there are different companies, and logistically how you are going to fix up those companies together. That means integrate the companies together to ensure the efficient flow of goods through the supply chain management. As I have told you, supply chain management includes all the companies that are performing support activities by generating the raw materials, converting them into the finished goods and the products and make them available to the consumer. This is supply chain. Logistic means the management process that integrates all the activities of the companies. That means selling of the goods, buying of the goods, raw materials, etc., etc. And on the basis of that, you are in a position to identify that how you are going to flow the goods from one place to another place. Then order processing. What is this? It includes order entry in which the order is actually entered into a company's information system, order handling, invoice, locating, assembling, and moving products into distribution and other delivery system. These are order processing. That means that in when you are in a global retail businesses, you have to be careful about the order processing are concerned that because that includes your solid information system which consists of the order handling involving in locating those orders, assembling the orders, moving the products into distribution channels and other delivery system. Then warehouses are used to store the goods. Yes, as I have described to you this thing that whenever the products are moving from one country to another country, there are a lot of big warehouses at the custom end where you can put up the goods and then you can distribute the goods from the same warehouses because these warehouses are meant only for keeping the goods there until efficient goods from the suppliers and then fill orders for individual stores or customer. These warehouses are made by the companies or hired by the companies where they store their products and the products are there till we are able to find out the good supplier and the customer to sell the goods to them. Then inventory management. This ensures that a company neither runs out of the manufacturing components or finished goods, nor incur the expenses and risk of carrying excessive stock of these items. When we are talking about inventory, I'm sure you are able to understand what inventory means. Inventory means that you are making sure in your company that you are having enough components, that means manufacturing components or finished goods, and you are not going to incur any extra expenses and risk of carrying out excessive stocks of these items. So it is important for organizations to do the inventory of goods which they require. And on the basis of that, it is usually said that you have to identify the goods and manufacturing components which are not going to be excessive anytime. That means you are incurring a lot of money in that. Then transportation. The method or mode of company should utilize when moving products through domestic and global channels. The most common mode of supply chain management is this. That in this you have to find out that in by which method or mode a company is going to transport the goods. That means the moving the products from one place to another place in the global channels, and these are the very common modes in that. Then transportation, there are different mode of transportation: rail, water, truck, air, pipeline, internet. So if we talk about the channel strategy is concerned, it is saying analyzing each shipping mode to determine which mode or combination of modes will be both effective and efficient in a given situation. That means that whatever products you are planning to transport, you have to make a strategy in such a manner and you have to analyze the shipping mode to find out which mode of combinations are important for your products to shift from one country to another country. So this is all about our global retailing as well as the different channels, how we are using the different channels. On the basis of this, I have just given some questions here which are MCQs. Let's take example of one question. Avon, Amway and Tupperware use which of the following form of channel distribution? Direct marketing channel, indirect, forward and fashion. You are in a position to give the answer for these questions. Then using manufacturer's representative or sales branches is usually a character of which of the following channel form: business marketing channel, customer marketing channel, service marketing channel, or direct marketing channel. So I'm quite sure that you are in a position to give the answer for these questions because I have discussed with you regarding different type of channels are concerned. Then I have discussed with you about the global retailing system, that what are the things which are involved in global retailing system. Then maker of televisions, cameras, tire, furniture and major appliances normally use which of the following distribution channel form: direct, indirect marketing channel, horizontal or synthetic. Then transporting and storing goods is part of which of the following marketing channel function: negotiation, physical contact or matching. So these are the questions. I am quite sure that you are able to give the answer for these questions, and hopefully that you understood about the distribution channels internationally as well as the global retailing. This is all from my side. Thank you very much.